You know, gaming is always going to have that little bit of point of contention with a lot of people, and you know, we aren't always going to get what we're promised. That's something that I've kind of come to realize in terms of, you know, just years and years of being a gamer. These gamers will absolutely continue to, you know, the companies and stuff like that are going to offer us a ton of content, a ton of features and things like that. And at the same time, you know, it's just going to be a very interesting situation because they're not always going to be able to, you know, deliver. And that's just going to be a fact. I mean, we can look back at some, and this is more of a situation where PlayStation hasn't delivered, but, you know, there's oftentimes we see, you know, promises that just aren't being kept, and that's really unfortunate. I mean, I can think back, there was a VR promise from Xbox with the Xbox One X that wasn't kept. There was a promise with, you know, with the situation where they wouldn't show trailers for games that were 2 to 3 years out. With that being said, you know, it's always very interesting to see how these promises get kind of broken here and there, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's just very interesting to me. But again, this is more of a problem with PlayStation. And is it a situation where we were lied to, like where there's this type of kind of bad blood between them and the developers themselves here? I do find it to be a little bit odd, you know. But yeah, we're gonna talk about it as a hardcore Xbox fan. You know, does this make PlayStation look bad? What does the Xbox have to do to counter this? I mean, do they have to say something? Do they have to do something? I'm very interested to get into this and find out. But you know, let's go. What's up, everybody? It's me, the Crap Gamer, the hardcore Xbox gamer, back with another video. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. You guys absolutely rock my world. We continue to do so, and will continue to do so. So when we look at things that are going on with the PlayStation 5, yes, it is a great console. Maybe it isn't as great as the Xbox Series X, and maybe it's, you know, outperforming the Xbox Series X in certain instances, but, you know, as an Xbox hardcore guy, I'm going to look past that, because in the next, let's say, 3 years, Xbox will certainly be undoubtedly the best box up high. Don't leave me hanging, guys. Please like the video. That's all I ask from all my fellow Xbox fans. Now, when it comes to PlayStation, this is a little bit odd because there's been a big point of contention when it comes to these director's cuts. Quote unquote, I did the air quote thing. I don't know why. I'm crazy, right? But Kojima doesn't actually agree with Death Stranding director's cut naming, and the game weighs in at almost 68 gigabytes. That's a lot of gigabytes, folks, on PlayStation 5. Director Hideo Kojima has taken to Twitter to express his thoughts on naming the upcoming Director's Cut version of the game. Death Stranding Director's Cut is an enhanced version of the coming to PlayStation 5 later this year, folks. In addition to offering next-gen enhancements on the PlayStation 5, the version of the title will also pack additional weapons, equipment, and vehicles, a variety of new modes, missions, and areas to explore, expanded storylines, and enhancements to the user face. Now, on social media, Twitter per se, Kojima has now said that he doesn't agree with the naming of the version as nothing has been cut from the game. On the contrary, the director's cut packs additional content that wasn't included. He says, and I quote, "A director's cut is a movie and an additional edit to a shortened version that was either released reluctantly because the director did not have the right to edit it or because the running time had to be shortened." This was according to Kojima on Twitter. He added, "In the game, it's not what was cut, but was it additionally produced that was included. Directors? Question mark, plus. So in my opinion, I don't call it a director's cut." So this is a very interesting take from Kojima himself with the naming of the upcoming PlayStation 5 version. In other Death Stranding related news, as revealed by PlayStation Game Size, the director's cut will weigh in at 68.60 gigabytes on PlayStation 5. For reference, the PS4 version of the original game clocked in at 55 gigs, so that's quite an increase in size. This, don't get me wrong, I'm getting this, right? Like, without a doubt, I'm picking this up. This is something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time as a full-on Xbox fan. Now, as a hardcore Xbox fan, I keep telling people that, you know, things are going to happen, things are going to change, things are going to keep coming about, where we see, you know, Xbox fans are going to have these things to kind of to bitch at it, to look at, and to complain about. Now, for me, even as a hardcore Xbox fans, and I do appreciate all the people that have forgiven my trespasses and forgiven me, and we look aside, and now they respect me because I am hardcore and they're hardcore, so I can definitely reach them in that hardcore kind of way. You know, we have that kind of love relationship where I can look at this and go, listen, I don't necessarily agree with the naming of it director's cut. What I can say is, the best of my knowledge, is that this director's cut is just something that's popular in culture right now. You know, you have like the Snyder cut and this cut, director's cut this and director's cut that. It's a very popular thing, so people think, oh, right away, you know, you tie it to more value, you're getting maybe something of an upgrade over the original, which this is. And now a lot of people have complained over the fact that, you know, the game is going to be offering, you know, a lot of people think that it's hiding upgrades behind a paywall. I've never looked at it that way, because if they just said, hey, pay $10 for, you know, a 4K 60 frames upgrade, I would say yeah. But the fact is, you're paying $10 for, you know, more content, and that seems like a total overhaul. So I think that's worth it. The same thing with when we saw the situation with, you know, Ghost of Tsushima. You know, it was a situation where I didn't see anything wrong with that, because it was a game that was actually, you know, getting a lot of content. And, you know, like, listen, I paid for the content for The Witcher 3. I think that was $20 or $30. You know, it's not unusual to have extra content go for, you know, these prices. And it's something that I've come to kind of expect. And I've also kind of come to realize that that's just the way that gaming is. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I think as long as the content matches what you're getting, that it should be fine. And, you know, again, this is something that, you know, maybe Sony should be a little bit just more clear about this. It's like, at some point, I would rather just play, you know, it's hard to say, because these games that we get as fans, are we going to be getting, are we going to be getting a lot of these things? Like, do we really need like future upgrades and stuff like this? I don't really know. You know, like, this is a thing where, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want everything to be, you know, have to have a remaster or whatever. But at the same time, I think that it's smart to do this to older games, to reintroduce people to certain things. Like, it was rumored that possibly the Uncharted franchise is going to get a remake, and that would come out next year. I love the Uncharted franchise, but does it really need a remake? I mean, didn't they already do the remasters years ago on PS4? And, you know, like, I just not sure that it really needs all that. You know, like, maybe maybe before if they're planning on continuing on with the 5th entry in the franchise, maybe they could do that. But for me personally, this doesn't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense to really you know, kind of get that out there. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. So I don't want to see us get inundated with a ton of these things, but at the same time, you know, as a fan, I understand that they're trying to reach more and more gamers as time goes along. So that's kind of where we stand with this thing. Now, as a hardcore Xbox fan, you know, it's always good to see that Microsoft kind of offers free stuff. And I mean, sure, some might say it's because they haven't released a first-party game this entire year yet, or they haven't released a first-party AAA Xbox exclusive in almost 2 years, so they're almost forced to do a lot of free upgrades and things like that. But again, when they even added the stuff for Gears 5, that wasn't a free upgrade. You know, I mean, the High Busters situation was, you know, unless you were an Ultimate subscriber at $180 a year, you had to pay $20 for the upgrade, for the extra DLC. So I see that, and I kind of go, well, everybody is going to be, you know, is going to be kind of looking at this and going, hey, you know, that's a very interesting thing that's going on. Like, is this something we're going to continue to see? Like, I don't know. You know, I can't really speak for everybody, but I do hope that, you know, this helps understand. Is Sony lying to fans? I don't think so. I think they're really just kind of using buzzwords and things like that people associate with more value or better than the original, and trying to kind of get that out there so that people will buy into it. So I think it's a smart move. if not necessarily a 100% honest move. And, you know, the fact that there's some dissension there between Kojima over this kind of goes to show that. Probably not the best thing to say, you know, right before launch, but we'll see what happens. Very interested to see where this goes long term, and I hope you guys all have a great day. I'm Crapgamer. Remember, fact 'em up. Out.